Making decisions about where to live in old age isn't easy. As we get older, what once seemed clear starts to blur, and suddenly we find ourselves at a crossroads we never thought we'd face. Should you stay in your home, move in with your children, or choose a more independent option? And what if you lose your partner and are faced with loneliness? In this video, I'm going to walk you through 9 invaluable lessons backed by the wisdom of great Stoic philosophers that will not only help you make choices about your future, but show you how to do so with calm, courage, and wisdom. You'll hear real stories, uncover the myths surrounding aging, and see how Stoic philosophy can be your best ally in this stage of life. This isn't just about where to live, it's about how to live fully and with purpose. Before we dive into these essential lessons, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos that can help you face life's challenges with clarity and strength. Let's begin. 1. The decision that will change your life in old age. Imagine for a moment that you move in with your children. At first, it sounds ideal. Family closeness, constant support, the chance to spend more time with them and with your grandchildren. But is it really as perfect as it seems? The reality for many families shows that this dream can turn into a challenge. A family I know thought living together would be the perfect solution. The elderly parents moved in with one of their children, and at first, everything worked well. They shared meals, chatted at the end of the day, and it seemed like a chance to reconnect. But over time, differences began to surface. Different generations, different routines. The parents, with a slower pace, wanted family dinners every night, but their son and his wife, caught up in demanding careers, couldn't meet that expectation. Tension began to build. And when the first grandchild arrived, parenting differences became evident. The grandparents trusted traditional methods, while the parents preferred a more modern approach. What started with good intentions soon became a source of stress. Stoic philosophy reminds us that sometimes our desires can clash with reality. Don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but rather wish for them to happen as they do, Epictetus once said. And this is one of those cases. Living with your children might seem like the ideal solution, but you have to be prepared to accept that multi-generational living isn't always easy. Small conflicts can quickly escalate when expectations go unmet. What parents see as a chance for closeness, their children might see as an invasion of their independence, and this resentment can grow silently until it erupts. So, is it really a good idea to live with your children? It depends on many factors: the flexibility of both parties, the ability to adapt to new dynamics, and above all, the capacity for honest communication. It's not always the paradise it seems, but with wisdom and patience, it can work. And it's also essential to accept that in many cases, distance may be the key to maintaining harmony. 2. Living near your children, the perfect formula. Imagine for a moment that you find a way to stay close to your children without invading their space. Having family just around the corner, but not sharing the same roof. This option, which may seem like a lonelier path, is for many the perfect formula for balance. A story that illustrates this well is that of Elvira and Tomas, a couple who always valued independence. When their children grew up, they supported them in establishing their own homes while staying in their family house. They didn't want to be a burden or invade their children's lives. Although both children lived in the same city, Elvira and Tomas made sure to maintain their own space. Every weekend, the family would gather for dinner and catch up, but during the week, Elvira and Tomas kept to their independent routines. Keeping that physical distance while staying emotionally close allowed them to enjoy the best of both worlds. They had their loved ones nearby, but they also preserved their autonomy. And that autonomy is vital, especially after 70, when independence becomes a pillar of dignity. This is where the Stoics have much to teach us. Seneca once said, "The more you retreat and withdraw, the stronger you become." And this idea of withdrawing doesn't imply loneliness. It implies strength. By living near your children, but not with them, you retain control over your daily life, something that becomes essential as we age. It's not just about keeping a routine. It's about preserving that space where you remain yourself, where you can still make your own choices. Compared to living under the same roof, this option gives you the freedom to move at your own pace without the pressure of adapting to others' habits. Instead of feeling like a guest in your own home, you can arrange your time as you wish. If one day you want to spend the afternoon reading or walking, you can. And if the next weekend you feel like cooking for the family, you can do that too, without feeling obliged. Experts agree that this type of arrangement, known as proximity without cohabitation, reduces intergenerational conflicts. By maintaining your space and your rhythm, you avoid daily frictions that can strain relationships. At the same time, you're still close enough to be there when genuine support is needed. This becomes particularly important in our 70s. At that age, it's not just about coexisting. It's about preserving your identity, your autonomy, and, above all, your peace of mind. By choosing to live close to your children, but not with them, you give yourself the space to continue evolving as a person. You can develop new hobbies, make friends outside of family, and feel that you still have a rich life ahead. In my view, this is one of the best decisions you can make. It combines the emotional security of having your loved ones nearby with the freedom to continue living life your way. You're not entirely alone, but you're also not dependent on anyone. And that independence, the knowledge that you can wake up each day and go at your own pace, is priceless. The real key is balance. The balance between being close and being independent. Between asking for help when needed, but not expecting your children to become your caretakers. As Epictetus taught, freedom is not having more, but needing less. And by choosing this option, you find that all you need is the essentials, your space, your autonomy, and the peace of knowing that if you wish, you can always reach out to your family to enjoy their company. Living near your children, but not with them, isn't just a practical solution. It's a conscious choice to protect your independence and dignity while still savoring life's most precious family moments. 3. Nursing homes are not what you think anymore. The idea of moving to a nursing home used to inspire fear. For many, it seemed like a kind of final stop, a place where the elderly were left forgotten. But that perception is changing, and with good reason. Senior living communities have evolved significantly in recent decades, now offering an attractive option for those seeking a peaceful, active, and most importantly, independent retirement. Imagine how much this concept has changed. We're no longer talking about dark, lonely places. Today, many of these communities are designed to provide the best quality of life, with daily activities, recreation areas, social events, and most importantly, a sense of community that many seniors miss when living alone, or even with family. Consider the story of Marta, a woman who, after the passing of her husband, decided to move to a private senior living community. At first, her family was against it, believing that moving to such a place felt like abandonment and would reflect poorly on them. But Marta, true to her independent spirit, made the decision on her own. She knew that staying home alone, while her children were busy with their own lives, would only fill her with loneliness. And the reality was that although her children wanted to be there for her, their daily routines prevented them from providing the companionship she needed. Upon arriving at the community, Marta discovered that she wasn't just surrounded by people her own age, but also by opportunities to enjoy things she had forgotten she loved. Art classes, outdoor walks, movie nights, and even occasional dances. For the first time in a long while, she felt part of something larger than herself. She met other residents with similar stories, formed new friendships, and realized that her later years didn't have to be a time of waiting, but rather a time of joy. Nursing homes are no longer places where life comes to a halt. Quite the opposite. They're places where life goes on. Stoic philosophy, especially the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, reminds us not to cling to preconceived ideas about what a life stage should look like. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, Marcus Aurelius said, and choosing a place where you're surrounded by positive energy, friendships, and activities, rather than feeling trapped in isolation, is one way to cultivate that happiness. So why are more seniors opting for this choice? The answer is simple: control and freedom. In a senior community, you can continue being yourself. You're not dependent on anyone else for your care because the support is built into the system. You don't have to worry about household tasks or maintenance, freeing you to focus on what truly matters, enjoying your time. Furthermore, these communities are designed with residents' physical and mental health in mind. From healthcare staff available at all times to programs that keep the body and mind active, everything is structured to help you age with dignity and a sense of purpose. Compared to living with your children, senior living offers a level of independence that's hard to match. You don't have to adapt to someone else's life or worry about being a burden. You're the master of your time and space, something that becomes priceless after 70. And while certain cultural stigmas about these places still persist, more people are recognizing that they are a viable and, in many cases, desirable option. It's not about giving up family or distancing yourself from loved ones. It's about finding a place where you can be yourself without pressure or expectations. Community living allows you to enjoy companionship, activity, and security without the feeling of invading anyone's space or becoming a burden on your children. You can have regular visits, share important moments with family, and still know that you have your own space, designed specifically for your quality of life. From a Stoic perspective, life in a senior community is an opportunity to apply one of the most valuable principles: to live in the present and make the most of each day. Life is too short and anxious to spend it on ghosts of the past or future matters, said Seneca, and what better way to live in the present than in an environment that offers everything you need to keep enjoying, growing, and sharing. Community living is no longer what it used to be. Now it represents a second chance for those who want to age with grace, purpose, and most importantly, freedom. So if you ever find yourself considering this option, don't see it as giving up. See it as a new way to embrace life. 4. Break the myths of aging and be free. Aging brings with it a flood of stereotypes that have led us to believe that old age is synonymous with decline, loneliness, and loss of freedom. The image often portrayed is that of an older person who, after a certain age, simply waits for time to pass. But that couldn't be further from the truth. For many, aging is a rebirth, a chance to reach a deeper wisdom and accomplish things that once seemed out of reach. There's a line from Seneca that resonates here: as long as you live, keep learning how to live. That's what many great thinkers and creators did. They didn't stop as they grew older. They used those years to leave their greatest marks on the world. Take Seneca himself, who in his later years wrote some of his most influential works. It was during this final phase that he produced the texts that still inspire millions today, where he laid out his deepest insights on life, death, adversity, and virtue. Rather than viewing old age as a time of decline, Seneca seized it as a period for reflection and profound creation. The notion that aging means losing your freedom or happiness is a myth we need to dismantle. Why? Because some of history's greatest achievements were made in later life. Michelangelo, the genius behind the Sistine Chapel, kept sculpting and painting into his 80s. His final monumental work, the Pietà Rondinini, was completed after he had turned 70. He didn't retire or settle for what he'd already accomplished. For him, as for many, old age was simply one more phase for creating. And we can't forget Socrates, who in his old age continued wandering the streets of Athens, challenging young and old alike to think critically. He was sentenced to death at 70, yet his legacy, the Socratic method, lives on, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge has no expiration date. These examples aren't exceptions. They are proof that old age is a powerful time in life, a chance to focus your energy on what truly matters. As the noise of youth fades, more space emerges for reflection, creativity, and building a lasting legacy. The myth that you'll lose your freedom or happiness as you age is simply a mental barrier. Freedom in old age isn't measured by how much you do or how far you can go. It's measured by your ability to keep growing, to think deeply, and to appreciate the wealth of your experiences. And that freedom, if you think about it, actually grows with age, because you're freed from external expectations and learn to value what really matters. As Seneca well knew, time isn't an enemy but an ally when used wisely. He said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." How often in youth do we get caught up in distractions, in things that ultimately don't matter? Aging gives us the chance to focus on what truly enriches life: relationships, wisdom, peace of mind. Today, myths about aging are being challenged everywhere. More seniors are starting new projects, embarking on adventures, and discovering new passions. Living longer doesn't mean having less life. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's the chance to experience more, learn more, love more. Being older isn't the end of anything. It's simply a new phase, one that many great thinkers and creators have proven to be immensely productive. Independence and happiness aren't things that diminish with age. They can grow if we're open to embracing each stage of life with curiosity and enthusiasm. The key is in changing the narrative, in understanding that old age is a wonderful opportunity for wisdom and freedom, not a time of loss. So when you think of the future, when you wonder what your life might look like as you age, remember Seneca's words that life isn't short. We make it short when we get distracted from what's important. In old age, you have the opportunity to focus on what truly matters, what enriches your soul and fills you with satisfaction. Age doesn't define what you can achieve. What defines it is your mindset, your willingness to keep learning, to keep living with purpose. 5. How to prepare today for a fulfilling old age. Old age shouldn't be a time filled with uncertainty, but it often is. As we approach those years, questions about how we'll live, what kind of life we'll have, and whether we'll be able to support ourselves emotionally and financially become more pressing. The good news is that, with the right preparation, you can face this stage of life with a sense of control and confidence. Emotionally, one of the biggest challenges of aging is adapting to life's changing dynamics. You may no longer have the same energy you once did, or those around you may also be going through transitions. The fear of loneliness, of losing purpose, or even of not being self-sufficient are all common worries. But as Seneca said, no wind is favorable for the one who does not know which port he is heading to. If we take the initiative now, we can build a solid foundation to face these challenges with peace of mind. The first key to emotional preparation is to start working on your resilience now. This means learning to adapt to change and accept the inevitable transitions that come with age. Old age isn't an enemy, but a different phase of life that can bring you great peace if you're willing to see it as an opportunity. Just as you train your body, it's crucial to train your mind to accept the inevitable and remain balanced in the face of the unexpected. Another essential piece is maintaining close relationships. Sometimes with age, social circles shrink, whether because people move away or because life takes different paths. Cultivating friendships, keeping in touch with family, and being open to meeting new people are crucial to avoid isolation. Studies show that people with strong support networks tend to enjoy a higher quality of life and face fewer emotional challenges. But financial preparation is just as important as emotional readiness. Many of the fears surrounding old age focus on the concern of running out of resources. Will I have enough to maintain my lifestyle? How can I make sure I'm not a burden on my family? These are valid questions, but they can be managed if you make the right decisions today. Start by realistically assessing your current situation. Are you saving enough? If not, now is the time to start. Regardless of your age, the sooner you begin saving for the future, the better your position will be when it comes time to retire. There are many tools available to help you plan, from retirement plans to investments that can safely grow your savings. The important thing is to take action. The man who doesn't anticipate his life faces challenges unarmed, said Seneca, and this applies perfectly here. Preparation is your best defense. It's also essential to have a clear financial plan for your retirement. Set a budget that covers your basic needs, but also allows for those extras that will make your life enjoyable. It's not just about surviving, but about continuing to enjoy life. Be sure to include an emergency fund as well as possible medical expenses that could arise over time. If you own property, this might be a good time to consider your options. Many older adults choose to downsize, selling a large home to move into a more manageable space. This can not only reduce costs, but also free you from the burdens of maintaining a larger home. The additional money from a property sale can serve as a financial safety net or allow you to explore other more convenient living options. Insurance is another often overlooked topic. As we age, healthcare costs can rise significantly, and having good coverage is crucial. Consider long-term care insurance, which can protect you in case you need prolonged care in the future. This type of coverage can alleviate the financial burden for both you and your family. Ultimately, financial preparation, like emotional preparation, is an act of foresight. You don't have to wait for problems to arise to take action. Stoicism teaches us that true peace of mind comes from being prepared for any eventuality. And that's the goal, to reach this stage of life without feeling trapped by fear of the unknown, but to embrace old age with a smile, knowing you've made the right choices. In the end, it all comes down to this: planning today to live better tomorrow. Emotionally and financially, you have the power to create the conditions for a peaceful, fulfilling, and joyful old age. It's not just about securing stability, it's about building a life still filled with purpose, joy, and freedom. As Seneca said, live each day as if it were your last, but plan as if you were going to live forever. So, what can you do today to secure your future? Start with these steps, and you'll see how confidence replaces fear. 6. The Stoic secret to aging with wisdom. Facing old age with wisdom is one of the greatest virtues you can cultivate. Stoicism offers a clear guide to doing so, allowing us to embrace aging with serenity, acceptance, and deep inner peace. But how can you apply these principles in your daily life to make this stage not just bearable, but meaningful and fulfilling? Here, I've condensed the 19 fundamental principles of Stoicism that will guide you toward true wisdom. If you have a pen and paper nearby, I recommend pausing this video to write each of them down. This brief list will serve as your compass for living a virtuous and wise life. Number 1. The brevity of life. Remember that time is our most limited resource. No wealth or material possession can buy you more time. So live intentionally, cherishing each moment of life you have left instead of getting lost in what you can't control. And that brings us to the second principle, the dichotomy of control. You can only control your thoughts, your actions, and how you respond to life's challenges. Everything else, other people's decisions and external events, let them go. Don't cling to what you cannot change. The third principle complements this. Suffering is optional. Pain and aging are inevitable, but how you choose to live through them is in your hands. Choose not to suffer needlessly. Number 4, live in harmony with nature. Accept reality as it is. Life is full of ups and downs, and the more we flow with them rather than resist them, the more at peace we'll be. Number 5, self-discipline is true freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. It's controlling your impulses and making conscious choices that lead to a more fulfilling life. Number 6, the unexamined life is not worth living. Reflect on your actions and evaluate your decisions. In old age, this self-reflection can be deeply satisfying, helping you live with greater intention. Number 7, gratitude as an antidote to desire. Gratitude is powerful. As we age, it's easy to fall into regret over what we no longer have or what we've lost. But if you focus on what you already have and the life you've lived, you'll find a constant source of happiness. This leads us to number 8, embrace impermanence. Everything, from material possessions to youth, is temporary. Accepting this fact will help you let go of what you no longer need. Number 9, relationships matter. Cultivate those valuable connections that have accompanied you over the years. Though aging may bring solitude, meaningful relationships offer comfort and companionship. Number 10, happiness is in the present. Stop regretting the past or worrying about the future. You only have this moment, here and now. Living fully in the present is one of the secrets to a peaceful and happy old age. Number 11, every difficulty is an opportunity. The challenges you face, whether physical or emotional, are chances to grow and learn. Each obstacle is a disguised teacher. Number 12, avoid gossip and comparisons. Focus on improving your life instead of getting distracted by others. Don't compare yourself, especially in old age. Every journey is unique. Number 13, wisdom is the greatest good. The more you learn and apply that knowledge in your daily life, the freer you'll feel. Wisdom helps you make decisions aligned with what is right without being swayed by others' opinions. Number 14, cultivate tranquility. True peace comes from within. No matter what's happening around you, what matters is how you manage your inner emotions and thoughts. Number 15, detachment and simplicity. The key to a peaceful life is not clinging to material things or outcomes. Simplifying your life will help you find the clarity and peace you desire. Number 16, effort and outcome. Sometimes we think there's no need to keep striving in old age, but everything valuable in life requires effort. Keep working on your personal growth and maintaining meaningful relationships. Number 17, happiness is a choice. It's not what happens to you that defines your well-being, but how you choose to respond. You decide how to live each day, regardless of circumstances. Number 18, perseverance. Consistency is key. Even when things get tough, keep going. Even in old age, every small effort brings you closer to a fulfilling life. And finally, number 19, be brave. Fear can arise at any stage of life, but in old age, it's common to fear the future and the unknown. Yet it's only by facing those fears with courage that you grow as a person. Embrace this stage with courage and wisdom. These principles will guide you through the process of aging, giving you the emotional strength and inner peace you need to live this stage with wisdom and serenity. Apply them. And you'll find that old age isn't the end of anything, but the beginning of a new chapter full of opportunities for reflection, acceptance, and growth. Now I invite you to share your own life advice. What is one principle or lesson you've learned over the years that you would add to this list? Sometimes a simple phrase or personal insight can be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Your experience, your wisdom, may be the light that helps someone else find their way. So leave your comment. Together, we can keep learning and growing, inspiring one another. Your voice matters more than you know. 7. What you should never do when you lose your partner. Losing a spouse is one of the most painful experiences life can bring. That person who shared so many moments with you, who stood by your side through the good days and the bad, is suddenly gone, and life can feel empty. Grief is inevitable, but there are ways to face it that can prevent you from getting trapped in that pain forever. Today, I want to share 3 things you should never do when you lose your partner, because while the pain is real, there are also ways forward. The first thing you should never do is dwell in the pain for too long. Feeling pain is completely natural. You need to cry, to allow yourself to be sad, even angry. But when that pain becomes a prison, when you hold onto it so tightly that it becomes part of your identity, that's when it starts to consume you. Seneca said, "Death is a punishment to some, to others a gift, and to many a favor." We can't control death, but we can control how we choose to live afterward. Holding on to pain for too long doesn't just prevent you from healing, it dishonors the memory of your loved one. They would want you to keep going, to find joy and purpose, even without them by your side. The second thing to avoid is relying too heavily on your children for the rest of your life. It's natural to want family support in times of grief. Your children will be there for you, and that closeness can be an invaluable comfort. But depending completely on them, emotionally or even physically, can become a burden for them, and more importantly, can rob you of the chance to rediscover your own independence. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-sufficiency. Epictetus said, "No one is free who is not master of themselves." This is the time to find new ways to live, to explore who you are without the other person. Stay close to your children, but don't let that closeness be the only thing holding your life together. And finally, don't make rushed decisions about your future or personal life. When you lose someone, it's easy to feel like life has lost its direction, and in that emotional chaos, you may feel an urge to make drastic changes. You might think of moving, selling your home, or even starting new relationships too soon. But this is not the time for hasty decisions. Grief can cloud your judgment. Instead of acting impulsively, take time to process what has happened. Reflect, seek advice from trusted people, and remember that patience during times of change is a virtue. Marcus Aurelius said, "Time is like a river of events, and a strong current drags along one and then another." Don't let yourself be swept away by that current of rushed decisions. Allow calm to return before taking big steps. Facing the loss of a spouse is a process that takes time, and there is no one way to do it. However, by avoiding these 3 behaviors, dwelling in the pain too long, relying too heavily on others, and making impulsive decisions, you give yourself the chance to find peace and little by little begin to rebuild your life. Remember, this is not the end. It's a new chapter. It's a moment to honor your partner by living as fully as you can, finding strengths you may not have known you had. By doing so, you'll gradually discover that pain doesn't define your life. You do. 8. Thinking of remarrying? Think twice before taking the step. In later years, after the loss of a life partner, it's natural to wonder if remarriage is worth it. The idea of finding someone to share your remaining years can be comforting, but before taking that step, it's important to reflect deeply on what it entails. Is it truly the best choice for you? What emotional and financial challenges might arise in embarking on a new relationship? Remarrying in old age brings rewards, no doubt. It can provide companionship, emotional support, and even a renewed sense of belonging. But it can also open the door to unexpected challenges. Relationships at this stage are different from those in youth. By this age, we carry a lifetime of experiences, habits, and ingrained customs, making it harder than it seems to adapt to another person. There are also financial risks that aren't always considered initially. Remarriage can bring complications with inheritances, property, and medical decisions, which can create both family and legal tensions. Beyond the practical challenges, there's something fundamental to consider. Rather than pouring all your energy, time, and resources into a new relationship, perhaps this stage of life is the ideal moment to turn inward. Why not use this time to cultivate a deeper relationship with yourself? After years dedicated to caring for others, whether a spouse, children, or grandchildren, it's easy to forget how to truly enjoy your own company. This might be the perfect moment to rediscover who you are without relying on someone else emotionally. So think twice before remarrying. Instead of seeking someone else to fill that space, maybe you could invest that time in yourself, enjoying the company of your grandchildren, strengthening bonds with your children and friends, or returning to old passions you may have set aside. Life holds richness that doesn't always require a new partner to enjoy it. Let me share a story that has inspired me greatly. My old friend Antonio, at 70, decided it was time to pursue a passion he'd always had but never fully explored: painting. For years, he'd worked in a different field, preoccupied with life's responsibilities. But in his later years, he felt it was time to make space for the passion that had always filled his soul. So he bought a set of paints and started creating again. Day after day, Antonio sat in front of his canvases, losing himself in color and shape, savoring each brushstroke as if time had stopped. What started as a simple hobby quickly caught his family's attention, especially his grandchildren, who were amazed by the talent that had been hidden for so long. One of his grandchildren, skilled with social media, began sharing Antonio's paintings online, and what happened next was beyond anything he could have imagined. People began asking about his work, leaving comments of admiration, and some even offered to buy his paintings. But Antonio, with a smile, confessed to me one day, "I don't do it for the money. I do it because it brings me peace, because it fills me with happiness, because each brushstroke connects me to myself in a way I never experienced before." Today, Antonio still paints every day. His art is known and appreciated by many, but most importantly, he's happier than ever. He's found a source of joy within himself, a pursuit that not only gives him purpose, but also an unparalleled inner peace. By investing his time and energy in what he truly loves, he's created a fulfilling, satisfying life without needing another person to find what was already inside him. This story is a reminder that sometimes, instead of searching outside ourselves for what may be missing, the best approach is to reconnect within. You may discover that the most valuable company you could ever have is your own. Instead of focusing on a new relationship, you could dedicate that time to enjoying the little things that bring you joy, whether it's painting, music, reading, or simply spending precious moments with family. So before deciding to remarry, ask yourself, is it truly what you need? Or could this be a time to embrace the freedom, peace, and satisfaction that only come from cultivating a deep friendship with yourself? Old age is a phase in which you can enjoy, grow, and discover new facets of yourself, without the complications that a new relationship might bring. 9. Living alone and being happy. Yes, you can. Living alone in old age doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, it can be one of the richest and most meaningful stages of your life if you make the right choices and plan carefully. Throughout this video, we've explored some essential pillars that can guide you toward a full, independent, and above all, happy life in your later years. The first thing to remember is the importance of financial planning. As we discussed in earlier chapters, ensuring that you have the resources to maintain your lifestyle is key. It's not just about saving money, but about managing it wisely. Considering health insurance, an emergency fund, and adjusting your spending to meet your new needs will give you peace of mind, knowing that you're prepared for any situation. But independence isn't just financial. It's also about taking care of your physical and emotional health. At this stage in life, your well-being is more important than ever. Stay active with an exercise routine suited to your age, eat healthily, and get regular medical checkups. Taking care of your body will allow you to continue enjoying the freedom you've built over the years. We've also talked about the importance of maintaining social connections. Living alone doesn't mean being isolated. As we've seen, relationships with friends, family, and new people you meet through activities you enjoy are essential for keeping your spirit vibrant. Investing time in these human connections will provide companionship, support, and a network that will always be there when you need it. Instead of focusing on what you may have lost over the years, focus on what you can gain by living alone. You can dedicate more time to yourself, revisit passions you may have set aside, like painting in Antonio's case, or any activity that brings you fulfillment. Investing in yourself is the best decision you can make. As we reach the end of this video, I want to leave you with an important reminder. Old age isn't the end, but the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Every decision you make, from where to live to how you care for your health and manage your finances, is an opportunity to create a life filled with peace, fulfillment, and above all, meaning. It's easy to fall into stereotypes that tell us everything becomes harder as we age. But what we've seen here is that you have the power to take control of this stage and make it a time of growth, connection, and joy. Each day is a new opportunity to enjoy, to live in alignment with your values, and to keep learning. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to share in the comments a piece of advice or a life lesson you've learned. Your experience may be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Together, we can continue building a community where we inspire one another and help each other lead better lives. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content to help you navigate life's challenges with wisdom and strength. Give this video a like and share it with your loved ones. Your support is what allows us to keep growing as a community. See you in the next video, take care, and until next time.